Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. My name is MiAhTheKing, and today we're taking a look at a game that just released on Steam called Stray, a game where you play as a stray cat in the middle of nowhere and just do cat things. Developed by Blue 12 Studio and published by Annapurna Interactive. You just play as a cat. That's pretty much it. Well, I mean, not really, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Now, the really interesting part here is that apparently this game was designed by cats for cats. According to the Steam store page, it says that it was a small team in south of France, primarily composed of cats, who developed this game. Well, I am proud as can be to be one of the first lucky souls to review a game designed by our furry companions. Sorry, those are dogs. I meant our furry masters. Selling for $30 and not in early access, let's take a jump right into the deep end and find out what is up with this game, shall we? If you hear anything in the background, that would be my dog, my real-life furry companion, and she is annoying and always decides to be annoying during my recordings. Now, like a lot of you out there, I'm sure, I've been following this game just a smidge for a little while now. I was just curious about it. I mean, it's a game about being a cat. Is it going to be good? Is it an atmospheric game? Is it a narrative game? Like, what kind of game is it? And after playing it for over an hour, I think I have a pretty good idea of what this game is and what it offers and what you can expect. Now, right off the bat, I was a little irritated because most of the positive reviews are just telling you things like, you should buy it because you get to play as a cat, or I'm a simple man, I see cat, and therefore I buy. Or press B to meow. Ooh, great reviews, guys. Totally convinced me to buy it. Not a lot of reviews on Steam at the time of writing that are actually talking about the good and the bad of the game. So that was my first irritation. My second irritation was that the game tells you in the beginning that it's best played with a gamepad. If you've been following me a while, then you should know that I hate games that are designed on PC, designed for PC, and sold on PC. Should be optimized for PC before gamepad. It's a really dumb thought process that I just can't wrap my brain around, logically speaking. I mean, do you know just how many games have been ruined because of horrible PC optimization? Too many to count! And yet game devs keep making the same frickin' mistakes. But before I let that sink in too much into your brains, know this. Even though it states that the game is best played on a gamepad, it is still very playable and not at all awkward to play with PC controls. At least not for me, it wasn't. Everything seemed to work really well and felt really right, and nothing was awkward and awful in terms of the controls when I was playing the game. Maybe the UI was a tiny bit frustrating, but in my opinion so minuscule that I easily wave it away. So, the game. Basically, you play as a cat, and you start with the cat's little family. They go on a small, dangerous adventure out in the middle of nowhere in the forest or whatever. Your cat misses a jump early on, which does two things. One, it shows that the cat you're playing as probably isn't the best at timing his jumping, or maybe just isn't that smart. And two, that our darling little cat gets separated from his family. Aww. From then on, you are exploring around some dead city filled with dead robots who I guess have taken over the position of humanity? A little vague at the time of writing. But isn't it funny that the one cat who messed up his jump showing his lack of skills and smarts is the one who now has to jump, climb, and solve puzzles all over this abandoned city? I think so. And there are these things that I think they're called scourgs. They're some kind of biological parasite that eats literally everything, especially things that move. So the robots and the cat are in great danger from these endless number of parasites. If I'm not getting the name right, scourgs, I apologize. I think that's what they're called. It might not be, whatever. I'm sure you get the gist of what I'm talking about right now. The point is, they even have an antagonist in this game. Wow, that was hard for me to say. I apologize. And as for now, and as far as I know, as of playing it now, no, you cannot fight them, just run and avoid them. Man, you know, I practiced this, and I wrote this, and I'm still messing up like crazy. This is awful, and awkward, and embarrassing. I'll try to do better. And yeah, you basically get guided around in the abandoned part of the city by some AI computer who's like telling you where to go with like signposts and whatnot, who then joins you like a little remote. Like, do you guys remember the robot companion in Jedi Fallen Order? You know, he just kind of follows you around, gives some dialogue, translates things for you, holds inventory items for you, gives tips and clues, helps you unlock or discover new ways to progress through the game. That's what this guy does. Now, while this game is very atmospheric, it's not narrative, meaning that there is a legitimate story here told by other people that you meet in the game, not by like a narrator. It's kind of hard to piece together, but from what I have gathered so far, you're trying to get back to the outside natural world to rejoin your family. I think that's the only motivation this cat has. So to do that, you have to help this one robot called Momo to set up a transceiver, who's then going to contact other robots who can give you an elevator, blah blah blah. Adventure commences. The next big thing to really grab your attention should be the graphics and the sound design. The graphics are beautiful. Now, obviously, they're not the best that I've ever seen, but I still think they're really good for this kind of game. There's a lot of attention to detail, smooth motions, great contrasting colors, bright lights, good lighting, just as a whole, great lighting and lighting effects, bloom effects and shadow effects, all that stuff, really well done. And then you've got the actual cat movements and the cat actions, how the cats are reacting to different things and moving to different things. That's really realistic and works really, really well for the game as well. A very pleasant game to look at for sure. And then you've got the sound design. Now this game right here is a perfect example as to why you need good sound and music design. It is perfectly immersive and thematic and works so damn well with the theme and feel of the game that without it the game would only be a shell of itself. The sound quality is great and perfectly placed and spaced out, and then the music. It's just nice enough to really help enhance your experience and help you fall deeper into the trance that is this game. Now, in terms of the gameplay, I was actually kind of getting into it. I mean, they pull off the whole what does the cat do, why, and how does that help? Why is that, is that pointless? If it's pointless, why are you still doing it? I mean, you can scratch random pieces of rare furniture or super expensive carpets, scratch them right up. You can drink water for all eternity, never quenching that unending thirst. You can find a nook in a bookcase to take a never-ending nap. You can get your head stuck in a paper bag. Doing so makes all your movement controls work in reverse. I thought that was kind of funny. You can play with cat toys you find around, that does nothing. And you can unplug computer chips, plug them into new parts, turn on computers, and then awaken the evil overlord AI. Fun times to be had with a wacky cat. But I think the coolest part is the pathfinding, the adventure itself. You can pretty much jump anywhere, squeeze into anything, and anywhere you see that a cat would normally be able to fit or get through or whatever, he does and can. There are several paths to get to different areas depending on how you use your brain, and the game's pathing works really well in comparison with that. Overall, I was kind of intrigued with the game and its, story. I hesitate because it's hard to say that it's a story, but it is. It does have a story. It has a clear idea. It has an antagonist. It has a protagonist. And it's got a journey designed for it. So it has a story. I mean, I'm really interested in playing, in this idea of playing a cat. And for a game designed by cats, I suppose it's perfect that they got the gameplay aspect right. It's a joke. Obviously, it wasn't designed by cats. I hope you guys already got that earlier, because, wow. I do have a bit of a problem with the pricing, though. I think that $30 might be a bit much, and I think the reason why they're charging so much is simply because of the hype this game has been raking in. I mean, they're hoping to get a little bit of extra money. Don't get me wrong, the graphics are good, the sound design is good, and the gameplay is good, but there's no replayability here. There's no voice acting here, and fairly simple premise overall with little dialogue or literary content. So, do I think $30 is a bit much for this game? I do, actually. I do. Simply based on a few factors. I think $20 would be fine. I just think it's a little overpriced. But, who knows? There could be a reason why. So, would I recommend this game? Yeah, I think I would. But I would also like to say maybe wait for a discount as well. To put it simply, it's an atmospheric, linear, adventure, puzzle-solving game where you play as a cat in some kind of dystopian mechanical future, running around trying to be reunited with your cat family. It's slow-paced. It's got puzzles everywhere, which I'll say one thing: the puzzles haven't been too difficult. I've been able to figure them out, and I'm awful with puzzles. And like I said, it's a slower game, and it's definitely more atmospheric and immersive. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, and you've got the $30 to spare, then yeah, I would encourage everyone to give this game a chance. But if what you're watching right now doesn't look too good, and what you're hearing right now doesn't sound like something you're interested in, definitely pass on it. So yeah, that's all the time I got for this video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, or at least found it informative. Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And, comment on letting me know if you have any questions or concerns. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I know I already said comment, but I'm just saying, if you have questions or concerns, let me know. I try to respond to every comment. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching again, and I'll see you all again in my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.